Hello, I'm Mario Toneguzzi with Retail Insider. My guest today is Melissa Newton, who is a commercial real estate agent with the Commercial Group in Saskatoon and the new chair of the Consumer Real Estate Canada organization. Thanks for joining us today, Melissa.
Thanks, Mario. So excited to be here. It's a real honor to be asked.
All right. Well, let's start with about the Consumer Real Estate Canada organization and becoming new chair. First of all, can you explain just a little bit about what the group is and what you guys do?
Yeah. So CREC started, 2 years ago, almost to the date. I'm sure everyone is seeing the memories pop up of 2 years ago on this day, and it's a little bit more of a horror story. But you know what? Out of these situations, bad situations often come the best ideas. And so I have to credit Michael Kehoe at Fairfield Commercial in Calgary. He has been an industry leader for a long time and is really invested in the retail business. He's also a people person. So that guy loves to connect people. So he reached out March, I think it was late March 2020. Everyone's sitting at home. What are we doing? And he started a cross-country call where we would give market updates on really excuse me. It was mostly about COVID at the time. Who's open? What are we doing? What are we helping with? Are we doing deals? Is it transactions? And then we started to move into okay, so what are the trends? What can we talk about? How can we take this call that we have from literally PEI to Victoria? And how can we connect individuals and start this networking opportunity? So this call started with weekly. We kind of changed as the pandemic progressed to bi-weekly, and now we do a monthly call. From there, it starts to grow. In 2021, we started an advisory panel after we had about 100 participants on our monthly calls listening in, and we realized that there's a need for this organization in our market. And it's just a way to connect people with what's going on. How can we have a local feel on the ground, but a national reach? So that started in 2021. We have about 6 people on the advisory panel. It's headed with Mike Kehoe, of course, Slava Fedosenko. He's out in Edmonton. He's with Avenue Living. And they do a lot of behind the scenes work. We have a great connection, Nicole Langton. She is an event planner, so she does, thank God for her, she does a lot of our behind the scenes website, how to run an event, how to run a nonprofit. And it's been really fun to kind of see how we're all progressing. So now the organization is moving forward again, and we've offered a couple more initiatives. So just in the last half of 2021, we started a new series called Talk Shop. And this is when we have a professional come in. They have a video conference, so unlike our phone call, the video conference, you can come in, it's more relaxed, a Q&A. And that there, they share their industry insights. Like, for example, we had David McAdam with Middle Eastern Council Centers, or Shopping Council. Well, sorry, I'm really making a mess of that one. Middle East Council of Shopping Centers. Okay. So he's a Canadian that works out in Dubai. And he got to give us insights on what retail is like in the Middle East. And then we've also had a headhunter on to see trends, as we all know that there is a lot of, the labor market's really challenged right now, and what can we do and how can our industry help progress some of those things? So that was the Talk Shop segment. And we've got a couple more exciting things in the works, such as a podcast and one other thing I can't quite speak to, but will be coming in the news shortly. So yeah, a lot of new exciting initiatives coming on.
So the people that belong with this group, are they primarily in the commercial real estate industry that deal primarily with retail sector? Yeah,
so majority of us are brokers. However, there's also retailers, like we have Good House Coffee. We also have Lamley's. So and then we also have people like you who are in the media and who want to, tell different stories than the doomsday of what we're maybe hearing. We have tenant reps, we've got developers. So mostly, yes, commercial real estate retail focused, but we also try to just get a little bit of each little sector, because really it's a collaborative market and we all have to work together.
Let's talk about the last 2 years, Melissa. And where we're at right now. What do you think, first of all, the industry, from your perspective, say the commercial real estate side of the retail sector? What do you think you guys have learned through all this?
That this is a relationship-based business. I think that is what it really comes down to. And if you have strong communication skills with your landlords and or tenants, it can really make the bad times not as bad. So if you can really, you have those relationships built and you're like, yeah, let's find a way to make this work together, and you have respect together, you can get through the toughest times. No one likes what happened. We've learned a lot. We always say that we are mostly counselors for the first little bit, but it's nice to see on the other side of it. It's also a thing I absolutely love about this job, is that when things are changing at such a rapid pace, you get to be there firsthand to see how these organizations and companies are implementing new strategies and what they're doing, and seeing that really take off. So it's always like a very interesting sector to work in.
Now, not to lessen the impact that COVID has had in the last 2 years, but do you find it surprising that it hasn't devastated the retail industry as much as many people might have thought it would?
Yeah, I like raw answer. Yes, if you reflect on what people are maybe feeling, throughout 2020, I think that's fair. I think the honest truth is people like to do things, and you're, sitting around doing nothing. Shopping's an activity. You need goods. It doesn't matter really what you're doing. The other thing is the customer service element is so crucial to being a successful retailer. And either if that's even an online market or if you're in a shop, people like to have that human connection. And when that wasn't available, I think it really was impacted and noticed.
Yeah, and from your perspective, your industry perspective, obviously you're in the job to find people space and to lease space out for landlords, etc. Do you think, again, that hasn't changed much either, right? Like, granted, there has been a lot of talk about the e-commerce and all that stuff, but that physical component is still key in the retail sector, is it not?
It really is. And there's going to be some changes, and there's going to be some police signs in the windows, and there's going to be some groups that just couldn't make it through, but we're still going to have retail no matter what. Bricks and mortar is important, and I'm sure you've seen this is a transition period. There's always eras that are different, and we're in one of those things. So it might, when you're living in history, you don't really always notice it, but I think that's exactly what we're doing right now.
Okay, let's talk about a couple of different sectors of retail space out there. Let's first of all, the malls. What do you see happening in the malls coming out of this 2-year period? Where do you think the malls are going to go?
You know what? I think malls are going to come back bigger than ever. Mall developers have done a great job at making it a service and entertainment district. So it's not just going and grabbing new shoes. There's activities to do. Every mall that I've been to lately has all been revamped and renovated. They look great. It's a place to socialize. You can grab a drink, you can go shopping. The parking has become easy. There's just, even curbside pickup for the people that I just need the one product. I don't want to run into the mall. There's a lot of good things happening at the mall, and we might think that they were going away, but I really don't see them going away anytime soon.
Okay, what about street fronts, like maybe some of the high streets out there? Is there an appetite for that space still?
There is, in the right locations. It's a little bit harder to get, the groups that maybe, if you're a service and you have a specific product, people will find you no matter what. That's never an issue. If it's, you need to have those complementary users with you to have that flow. I will say in Saskatchewan, where it's a little bit breezy and pretty cold for most of the year, it's really crucial that you pick the right spot for a street front.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, the winter months will hit you hard. In the summer, you're good. people are out and about. It's lively. There's a ton of action. We've got a lot of great projects happening in Saskatoon, so in Saskatchewan in general. So, we're kind of, I was laughing, we're always a little bit behind, but we're on the up and up.
Okay, and just to come back a little bit on the lack, I shouldn't say lack, that's a bad choice of words, but the fewer than anticipated closures out there, et cetera. The vacancy rates really haven't changed dramatically, have they, in the 2 years?
No, they really haven't. Not to what we thought. Our downtown core has taken a little bit of a hit. It's going through a transition period. That being said, it's not like a ghost town by any means. People are excited to get back down there, and we're approaching summer season, which is always fantastic. We're finally have no restrictions in place. If you're in the suburban areas of retail, like, it's hard to find a spot. I'll be honest. It really hasn't been hit as bad as what was forecasted.
I spoke to somebody fairly recently. I'm trying to remember who it was, but my memory fails. But he talked about, I know it was Arlen at CBRE, who's in real estate. He talked about how he thought that it's almost like a renaissance of retail, spending coming, because of what's happened in the past 2 years, and we're going to have quite a fabulous, from a retail perspective, fabulous time in the next few months going forward. Do you kind of agree with that at all, or?
I do. I agree with that in a sense that people have events to go to again. And they're, just in terms of fashion, you're not wearing the same outfit that you wore 3 years ago. You forgot that you even bought that. So I think that there is definitely, that too. But that is definitely, I do think that we're going to see a big drive, and it's just people are more comfortable to be out, and they just want to go back to what they know as regular activities. Shopping has been around since the beginning of time. It's not going anywhere.
So let's talk about some of the categories that have been hit hard in the past 2 years, and obviously everybody would always tell you that that fashion and apparel clothing sector was hard hit, one of the hardest hit, and obviously the hospitality industry with restaurants, et cetera, as well. Do you think that we're going to see again a return of spending to in the clothing areas?
Yeah, I think it'll be a little bit different. I think that the shops that are doing it well have their inventory online. Even if it is, hey, I want to reserve this and come pick it up and try it on. They just, they want to kind of see what they're getting before they step in the door. So I think that it's really important for retailers to have their product online. I think you're missing a huge market if you're not doing that. In terms of like, if you're going to go to the hospitality industry, I think they're going to be great. People love to eat. They're, and there's new ideas all the time. And that was a market that really surprisingly didn't get hit that hard in our industry. There's, the labor side of it's different, but it's all my favorite restaurants are still here. So people don't want them to go away.
And that's true. And we return to what we were just talking about earlier. I'm amazed that there has been a few restaurants that have closed their doors, but at the same token, there's been many that have opened, many new ones, right? And that actually really surprises me that in that environment, in this kind of uncertain environment and kooky environment, people are still confident about opening their doors.
You know what? I think people think, well, I've already been through the worst. It can't get much worse.
Yeah.
Why not take a risk now? You've seen probably the worst of the worst. I would say it has to get better.
Yeah, you bet. All right. Well, thanks, Melissa, for joining us today.
No, thanks, Mario. I appreciate this very much. And if anybody wants to check out CREC, please do. crec.live is our website. You can see all of our recaps on our monthly calls. There is also our YouTube channel. We'll be up with all of our past talk shops, and stay tuned for upcoming dates on those.
All right, super. That's Melissa Newton, who is a commercial real estate agent with the Commercial Group in Saskatoon and the new chair of Consumer Real Estate Canada. I'm Mario Toneguzzi with Retail Insider. Thanks for joining us.